What's good, Relocation Football League fans? It kind of got me looking. Let me move this camera around. Oh, why is my camera just so zoomed in? I guess that's how it is. Let me play around with this a little bit. Oh, I guess that is the top. I guess I gotta scoot up a little bit in the chair. There you go. This laptop's still adjusting to it, guys. Sorry for the delay too. Um, just Gotta had to do a lot to try to get the graphics for the East versus West bowl game rosters, man. Guys sent it to me. I had to make a graphic for each one. Yeah, shout out to the guys that are here. So we got 14 already in here right now. We got Canadians uh Canadian syrup mapper. Hopefully I'm saying that right. What's up with you? Appreciate you coming through. We got Rodney Goins in the building, Coach Goins. We got Brian O'Connor. We got Michael Blunt, Joe. Who's ready to see if they made the East versus West Bowl game? This is pretty much what this podcast is going to be about. It's going to be fairly short, guys. This is not going to be a long podcast. Really, it's just going to be revealing that. We already went over who we thought was going to win the national championship. My guys that I'm usually on here with, I just told them just go and work on, whatever it was that extra that we need behind the scenes done for the league. So they're working on that as we're going on with the pod. So I just figured, just have a real quick pod showing you guys who made the East versus West Bowl roster. And then after that, I'm going to let you guys know about a special event for the first time ever that the league will be doing that will be going down on the 13th that you do not want to miss if you are a prospect. So just know that that will be the ending announcement. So this podcast really shouldn't be all too long. Probably is definitely more than likely going to be less than an hour. But shout out to the guys that are rolling in right now. So right now, uh, let me just explain the East versus West Bowl once again. So the East versus West Bowl was something we did as a last game before the draft prospects got drafted, where these guys could just display their skills in front of the RFL community and play on teams with guys that all star teams, pretty much with other really good talent around the country, and rep either the East or the West side, whichever team they got drafted or picked to. So this we brought the East versus West Bowl game back. Last time we had it, I believe, was CS4. So we probably had only like three of these. This is our fourth one. The change up is back then it used to be that we used to draft, just straight up draft whoever you wanted to by the player. You could have Miami players on either side of the ball, east or west, didn't matter. You could have Bama player, whatever. It's just literally pick who you want as your quarterback and order your running back and all the positions like that. The difference in this East versus West Bowl game is that the coaches that were selected got to pick their conference. So this is the biggest East versus West College Series bowl game we had because back then those East versus West College Series bowl games used to be in a 32 team College Series file. Now we have all 100 plus colleges from the CS level. Uh, the FBS level. I'm pretty FBS level. These guys literally have a ton of options, and so we went with conferences instead. So they got the draft their conferences. They did that the last podcast, and just to reread what each team got, I'm gonna go ahead and just off to the side read out loud what each side represented. So the two coaches that got selected was a former player that played in the second ever College Series East versus West Bowl game, and Chris Polk, and you can see him on this graphic here to the right of me, uh, on the one closest towards me in the Miami gear. Chris Polk was a safety for the Miami Hurricanes, and of course went on to play and still currently playing in the RFL. Got drafted by the Cougars now with the Steamers, still playing with the team, right? But players get to coach at the college level, and that's what he went on and did. Took him a pretty nice run into the playoffs. He got past the first round against Tulane. Ultimately, lost to LSU, who also went on to defeat the other coach who's coaching the West Side, Dior Gore. Um, but yeah, he's coaching. Chris Polk was coaching the East. And speaking of the guy I mentioned earlier, Dior Gore, he's a receiver. He never got to get to the pro level yet, but his player is entering the draft. And this was his first year coaching in the college series for everybody because this is the first year we had coaching in the college series. And he was able to take Bama all the way to the semifinals. Ultimately lost again, like I said, to LSU, but a great run for the Crimson Tide nonetheless with the first year under his helm. And so he got the opportunity to coach the West. And so Dior Gore ended up getting first pick due to winning the coin flip last week. And of course, both teams start out with the conferences in which they coached in. So automatically, the East side got the ACC because Coach Polk coached Miami, and the West side got the SEC because Coach Gore coached Alabama. So West side had the SEC, the Big Ten, Mountain West Conference, Conference USA, and the Sun Belt Conference. On the graphics, I will also display these, so you guys will be seeing that. And remember that when you see the players when they get revealed. And on the East side, the selected conferences for from Coach Polk was, of course, ACC, Big 12, American, Independent, and the MAC. So those were the conferences right there. With that, now I will go ahead and I think I pretty much let you guys know instead of doing a whole draft like we did last time, which was pretty much very time consuming, we went with a we just had these guys behind the scenes after that just pick their teams. So they already got their rosters set up and who they're going to have. So we're going to have to let you guys know how the bowl game is going to go. We're going to have a first team and a second team. The first team will play the entire first half, and the second team, of course, will play the second half. That's how it's going to go. That's why you have two teams. The totals for each positions before I start to reveal these rosters to let you guys know. Let me see. I'm trying to find this list here. Apologies for that. Now I'm gonna just go to one of the coach's DMs because I know I sent it to him before. I think I might have pinned it in here. Let me check and make sure. Oh, I didn't. Actually, it would be easier to check it this way. So, okay. So each side got to select two quarterbacks, two running backs, six wide receivers, three tight ends, two of each lineman from the tackles on each side, the guard on each side, and the center. And that was it for your offense. For defense, they got to pick two left side edge rushers, two right side edge rushers, three defensive tackles. The linebackers varied. You're supposed to pick six, but because of a different style in which of defense in which CP is running, they actually are going to have less linebackers. So they are only only have four because if I have them pick six anyway, there's going to be two guys that's not playing. So didn't have him do that. There's two linebackers. So he got two linebackers, four total linebackers for his defense, which he'll reveal that stuff later on throughout that week. We have six linebackers in total though that Dior has, where he has two Sams, two Mikes, and two Wills. Six cornerbacks, two safeties on each side, free and strong. And I think I'm going to eliminate the two kickers. I did have two kickers and two punters I wanted them to get, but I don't even think that Team Builder allows you to have more than one. So I actually might keep that to one. I have the graphics. Unfortunately, I don't have the bell to play, but you guys already know I do the offensive lineman pretty dirty in the RFL College Series, man. I unfortunately do not have graphics for offensive linemen or the kickers. So sorry about that. Uh, but I do have the graphics for every other position. So we have everything else. And with that being said, I think I summed up everything that's going to be taking place on the 20th of this College Series Bowl, East versus West Bowl game. Now is the part you guys have been waiting for, where I will start showing who the coaches picked. So let me go to here. And of course, we're going to start from top to bottom. We'll see what guys made it. Let's see. East versus West. Full roster reveal. I have to name this on my end so that way I know what's going on here. So we'll start off with the quarterbacks. Which side do you guys want to see first, man? East side or west side? Who's roster? Let me see in the chat. Whoever get the most votes, that's what I'll go with. West side. Does this stuff not download? What happened? Might be a little issue too here, guys. I don't know what happened. It should be having these. Let's see. Downloads. While I'm looking for that, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go ahead and have that. I'm seeing a lot of West. So West Side, look like West Side has won so far. So let's go. West Side will have their roster. Well, we'll just do it like that. Whatever side gets revealed first, we're gonna go with the opposite. So I'll show the quarterbacks on the West Side first. Then I'm gonna do the East Side. So we'll do that. Something's going on with these photos though. I'm trying to make sure that they're showable right now. I don't know why they're not allowing me to put this up now all of a sudden. So always something, guys. Always something weird. Don't understand it. Go try to figure this out again. This is okay. This PC, I think. Put this in the downloads. And I think I might have figured it out, guys. So we're gonna have this out here pretty soon. One more shot. Here we go. Okay, now I got it. All right, let's start with the West Side. So the two quarterbacks selected for the West Side. Why are they not showing up? Let me get some predictions. What you guys think? I know I got you guys going all over the place, man. Anticipation. It'll probably take too long if we do that. So I'm about to just reveal it. All right, let's go through it. Here we go. Representing the first and second team of the West CS Bowl game is Dylan Lewis for Ohio State and Jaden Young from Alabama. So those were Coach Gore's selection. And of course, I've added the overall too, so you guys know, kind of how these rosters compare ratings wise, if you're interested in that. These will be getting posted on social media too, but of course, you're going to see it all here first, which is why I'm having a podcast tonight. So Dylan Lewis will start the first half. Jaden Young will start the second for the West. And now we will get a look at the East. Actually, I got to create a whole nother thing here. I'm going to do image. East roster. Review. All right, so let's go downloads. East. The two quarterbacks selected by Coach Polk to represent the East of the College Series Bowl is Colorado Rivers and KJ Smith of Georgia Tech. So we got 97 overall. Colorado Rivers from Clemson, national champion back in College Series 7 just a season ago, and a runner-up for our version of the Heisman, the Hunter Mackey Award, and CS6 with KJ Smith back in his Michigan days. Spent his last 2 seasons with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And for guys who are asking down below, trying to figure out certain guys why they aren't in there, these rosters were also only for players who are entering the RFL draft. If they're coming back next season, they cannot participate in the East versus West College Series Bowl game. So there we go. Those are the quarterbacks in the game. First half, Rivers. Second half, KJ Smith. I got to do a little editing real quick behind the scenes before I go on and show the rest. All right. Boom. All right. Now we're going back to the West Side. All right. So we saw the quarterbacks. Time to look at who Coach Dior chose for the West and running backs. And remember this position, you got to choose 3. So looking at the West for running backs, top 3 running backs selected are. Oh, what happened here? Here we go. First team is going to be Zach Tank from Florida. And second team, which means Shady Houston is going to be the main back. Abraham Powers will also be, splitting carries mainly with him in the second on the second team there. So you got Shady Houston there from Texas and Abraham Powers from Penn State. Zach Tank, former UGA running back, transferred and spent his last 2 seasons with the Gators. Ended off his Gator career big time in a bowl game against Memphis. Put up over 50 points, had over 200 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Shady Houston there with the Texas Longhorns. Spent 2 seasons there. First was at CS6 at Iowa. Transferred over just like Zach Tank did, and spent his last 2 seasons there with that program. And generic running back Abraham Powers. He was a candidate for running back of the year, of course, and even for the Hunter Mackey Award, the Heisman, in our league. So I'll get a look at the overalls. 95 overall was Zach Tank, 90 overall Shady Houston, 82 Abraham Powers. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the east side and get a look at who they chose for running back. So the East team running backs are, I'm pretty sure you guys know who the first one is. And here we go. Bo Sanders from Clemson. First team, 99 overall. Second team, you got Vince Reed from Utah, 91 overall. And in the backfield with him on that second team is going to be Isaiah Fuller from Notre Dame, 89 overall. So looking at these backs, definitely could see, Bo Sanders overall wise, the highest rated back out of these 2 squads. 2-time national championship winning back there, of course. Team on his back. He had Vince Reed, who's a generic running back, as well as Isaiah Fuller. Both played 2 seasons for those schools and put up some great seasons. Vince Reed almost had even over 2,000 rushing yards this year for the Utes. So I mean, he's been killing it. Isaiah Fuller had a better season the year before in CS7, but still was pretty productive. And Notre Dame was able to win their last bowl game against Utah for their last game of the season. So pretty interesting there. And those are your East running backs. Now we're going to get on to the wide receivers. So we go back to the West side. Again, a recap of who the running backs were for the West. And of course, for the wide receivers, you got the pick 6 of them. So here goes the first team wide receivers. Top 3 wide receivers for the West are first team, Dior Gore from Alabama, 95 overall. Steve McCaskill from Ohio State, 91 overall. Khaled Lemon, for Florida, 81 overall. So these will be your first team starting wide receivers chosen by Coach Dior. Of course, goes with his own receiver, as I mean, he is the top rated receiver, most are saying, coming out of this draft. Been killing the game since, coming into the college series. And yeah, he'll start out 95 overall there. And you got Steve McCaskill and Lemon will be the slot guy. So 2 outside guys right there. Going to be interesting. Steve McCaskill also, I mean, Dior Gore unfortunately never won a national championship. Got close a couple times. Well, 3 times actually he did, because he actually played for Ohio State his first season in the RFL College Series in CS6, and then ended up transferred to Alabama the last 2 years in CS7, CS8. Steve McCaskill, of course, he's been in the college series for a long time, been back since CS5, and he has won 1 national championship, looking to win his second tomorrow against LSU, like he did in his freshman year. And Khaled Lemon, he had a breakout season this year, over 1,000 yards. He and Casey Robinson hooked up a lot more this year. Looked like they were definitely running routes and everything together, getting that timing right. And big year lands them here, first team on the West roster. All right, now we go back to the East side, get a look at their first team wide receivers. Well, actually, let's go back to the West. So you got to see their first team. Let's get a look at their second team. Let's just show the whole team here. So the second team roster that'll come out to finish the game is Shaquille Chancey from Minnesota, Rohan Boxey from USC, and Talon Ross from Alabama. So Chancey a 92 overall, Boxey a 90, and Ross an 84. These will be the receivers finishing out that second half of the bowl game with Jaden Young. It's going to be interesting to watch that. Rohan, a one and done wide receiver, played his freshman year with the college series of course, USC with the Trojans. And the RFL, you can do one and done. You can't do that, of course, in the NFL, but here you can. So he's rolling the dice. He feels like he's ready for the league now. Then you got Shaquille Chauncey, first year generic player. Had to draw some guys, of course, into the draft. And here Chauncey getting his opportunity to show his skills in the bowl game against other talent. It's highly rated generic, too, as you can see there at a 92. Then Talon Ross, had a down year statistically, but still was a big time playmaker at times when given the opportunity. We knew that, with the transfer of Keyshawn Covington going over there to Alabama, someone was going to have to take a back seat. Not all those receivers were going to be able to play, and it ended up being Talon Ross. And so Talon Ross, he may not have gotten the statistics many were expecting, or at least himself, but he finds himself at least playing in one more collegiate game in this College Series bowl game, trying to give the West their first win in this bowl game. So those are the wide receivers for the West. Now we go back to the East and we get a look at their wide receivers. So here we go. First team wide receivers representing the East are Trayvon Simpson Jr. from Clemson, Ezekiel Kuhn from Florida State, and Corey Polley III from Miami. Trayvon Simpson Jr., two-time national champ, of course, there with Bo Sanders, leading off his team, also playing with him in that first half, was also the MVP of the CS6 national championship. Had some huge plays he made in that game. And of course, this is a big-time playmaker, 87 overall. At an 84 overall, you got Ezekiel Kuhn, of course, from Florida State, one and done player here as a generic, absolute beast, really both ways. He could kill you on special teams too. So I'm pretty sure that Coach Polk might put him back there returning kicks. He was one of the few guys to return a kick return this year for a touchdown. And of course, we talk about breakout years. We just were talking about Khaled Lyman with Florida this year and how he was able to perform. How about Corey Polley III this year? He had a monster year with Dante Taylor and the Hurricanes this year. Led the team in receiving yards. Was just killing in that slot position, and he will be starting in that slot position for the East team for his own coach uh, after he spent his 2 seasons there with the Canes. 87 overall for Simpson for TSJ, 84 for Kuhn, and 79 for Corey Polley. So let's go ahead and get a look at the second team roster for the East side. So finishing out the game for the East is Jamal Yazzie from California, who's a generic wide receiver at a 92 overall. Mamadou Sunyalu from Clemson, 83 overall. And Juan Mail from Arizona State, a 91 overall. These are some high overall rated receivers coming in to finish the game here for the East. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see if this offense can stay explosive, as KJ Smith will be taking over at that point, tossing the ball out to these guys. Of course, Jamal Yazzie, playing for Cal, generic guy, one and done guy as well. A high overall. Look out for him. Mamadou Sunyalu, of course, played the college series. He's been with Clemson all 3 years, two-time national champion as well. And I mean, he had a monster year last season in CS7. Of course, didn't have as big as a year this year, but still a good year nonetheless. Over 1,400 yards in CS7. But he makes the ace team, and he's looking to finish him out with a dub. And Juan Mel, this is a guy who really didn't get a lot of, publicity. You didn't see too many Arizona State games, go live with anything. But you can check out some of his games. This guy's made some plays, and yeah, 91 overall. We'll see if he can make an impact to help the East continue their undefeated streak in this East versus West bowl game. All right, now back to the West, and now we get on to tight ends, where you got to choose 3 tight ends for the position. So for the West side, the tight ends from the first and second team are Arturo Flores from Ohio State, 96 overall. Mac Van Ginkel from Texas, 99 overall. And his own teammate on the other side of him over there at Texas, Zeke Moore at a 90 overall. We already know about Arturo Flores. This guy's been here for the long haul as well. Freshman way back in CS5. So a senior playing in this West on this West team to lead the bunch. Has the record for the most receiving yards through a collegiate career of anybody throughout the mod era of the RFL College Series. And of course, I even think that holds up to date even right now with guys who've been in the, the console era. He still had over 1,000 yards this year, and is about to look to get his second national championship tomorrow against LSU. So big time tight end right there that his own quarterback Dylan Lewis will be throwing to. So very familiar with him. I'm pretty sure that's going to have a big impact. Then we just saw during this playoffs what Mac Van Ginkel can do. MVG was absolutely sensational to watch in the CS8 playoffs. Had over 100 yards in each game he played in. 200 yards in the first game he had in that crazy 24 historical comeback against Illinois to advance them and win by a point. And then he went off for over 100 yards following week against Colorado. And even in the loss against Ohio State, he still managed to get 100 yards. So, I mean, this guy was dynamic, a big time playmaker. And here he is teamed up with a dynamic Ohio State tight end and Arturo Flores. So that's going to be interesting. And Zeke Moore really didn't see a lot of him, of course, because of the dominance of MVG. So interesting selection here by Coach Gore, but he's still a pretty highly rated tight end, as you can see. 90 overall. We'll be able to see what he can do. Obviously, he's in a more limited role because he's just second team, pretty much that third string guy. So he's probably not going to see too many looks, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and get a look at the East side and who their tight ends will be. So the East tight ends are Charlie Dotson from Miami, 99 overall. Brian Schneider from Notre Dame for second team, 95 overall. In Pittsburgh, John, I think that's Ayalana. I think that J starts, has an H to it. Ajalana. It might be Ajalana. Ajalana. I'm gonna go with Ajalana because that guy doesn't look any type Spanish to have the H for the J. I don't know. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go Ajalana, Pittsburgh. But 78 overall for him. But he was a monster with the Panthers this year. Brian Schneider's last couple of years since the mod era hasn't been too great statistically, but at the end of the day, we know what type of playmaker he is. And finally, he can get his skin complexion back. As you can see from the photo, he had to be a little bit of the darker complexion throughout the year. So that was kind of crazy, but we're going to make sure to get you right for this last collegiate game you get to play in the College Series Bowl. And then Charlie Dotson is, of course, leading the bunch, 99 overall. Everyone's always been talking, man, who's the best tight end in this class coming out between he and Arturo Flores, and they'll be doing war, having war against each other in their last game in the bowl game. So that's going to be pretty interesting to watch. See who has the better performance. As for offensive linemen, again, I'm sorry, guys. Did not have the time to make the graphics for the linemen. And obviously, getting pictures for linemen is almost impossible because we usually don't take them. Sorry, but that's just how it is. And so all I can do, I don't even have the overalls, but I can just read you who they are. Okay, so let's start with the West team for their offensive line. For the left tackles, they got Cody Nelson, who only allowed 5 sacks this season for Utah, and his backup is Ant- Ant- Anthony Moore, which is the brother of Zeke Moore, who's playing right as you can see there at the tight end position for the West. Moore gave up 10 sacks this season, and he is a user prospect. Played for Texas as well. Looking at the guards, we got Casey Chestnut, as many has been saying, hey, this guy's a monster, thinking he's the best offensive lineman in this class. He's given up 4 sacks this year for Alabama. And his backup is Grant Morris, who's given up 8 sacks, and again, another Texas player. At the center position, we got Todd Sutton, who's given up 4 sacks as well, played for Penn State. And then Dallas Steen, giving up 6 sacks for Oregon. And on the right guard spot, we got Caesar Davis Jr., who's given up 3 sacks for Ohio State. And his backup is Connor Griggs, who's given up 5 sacks for Florida. So Florida's got a lineman in there. And then at the tackle position on the right side, they got Chuck Bynum, Alabama tackle there, giving up 8 sacks this year. And his backup is Brent Sloan, who's giving up 10 sacks this year for Utah. As for the East roster, again, this is just me reading it out because I do not have a graphic to show you guys, unfortunately. For the East side, offensive lineman, we have first team Greg Dunham. Now, I don't have the statistics with the East side linemen, unfortunately, so I'll just tell you who they are, where they come from. So Greg Dunham will be starting from Notre Dame, and his backup is Cody Nelson from Utah. Then we have Anthony McGill, Clemson, at the left guard position, and his backup is Javier Valerio from Notre Dame. At the center position for the East team, we have Paul Gibbs for Clemson, and his backup is Rico Cardoza from Notre Dame. Right guard, Bijan Rainey from Miami, and his backup in the second team is Sean McDowell. I do not have his college associated with him here on this thing that I'm reading, so I'm sorry about that. Right tackle, we have Alex Davis from Notre Dame and Trip Zimmer, which I'm pretty sure he's from Miami as well. So, yeah, those are the offensive linemen on both sides for you guys. Unfortunately, again, I had to read that out. He said Trip Zimmer will be my backup right tackle. Okay, so there's some mix up in what was sent to me, but just read off what I had. So you guys will see that offensive line and everything when it's time. All right, so now let's go to the defense. All right. Defense, we're on the west side. And we're going to start, of course, with the edge rushers. Let's get a look at, actually, I think edge rushers are pretty fun. So let's save them after defensive tackle. Let's see who the big guys in the middle are first. The defensive tackle, you got to choose 3 each side. So for the West, Coach Gore chose, of course, big number 99, Ohio State, Wyatt Harris. 94 overall, making first team. Second team is Jamari Logan from Tennessee, 83 overall. And with him is Ishmael Ibarra from Penn State. It was an 85 overall. Both of these guys, all 3 of these guys have wreaked havoc all year long in the college series. Obviously, Wyatt Harris being the most dominant defensive player in the last 3 seasons, I'd say. He's won Defensive Lineman of the Year for 3 years. Defensive Player of the Year, I believe, for 2. So, I mean, Harris has just been killing the game at that defensive tackle position. Last guy we've seen even be close to anywhere as dominant as this was Jermaine Taylor back in CS2 with the Georgia Bulldogs. This guy's played more than just 1 year than Taylor did, and each year has brought it and dominated. Jamari Logan has had a breakout year this year. He really didn't do all too much the following years before, but he definitely stepped up this year and made some big time plays. Got in the backfield, a lot of disruption, a lot of sacks. He had at least about a 4 to 5 game span where he had 11 sacks. So, I mean, this guy has been killing it. And same with Ishmael Ibarra. He's just a really good run stuffer up the middle, tough to move. Was killing it for the Penn State Nittany Lions all year. So those are your West defensive tackles. Going on to the East side, the selected defensive tackles are Quentin Douglas from Utah, 93 overall. You got Craig Hutton from Notre Dame, 92 overall. And with the second team as well with Hutton is Joshua Farmer from Clemson, all generic prospects here at an 87 overall. So, I mean, this defensive tackle unit is fire for the East. We saw, we seen almost all of them in the 90s there. Of course, Farmer, 3 overalls off, but uh, absolutely dominant. If you're looking at ratings, probably would say that the East slightly has the edge. Quentin Douglas has been a monster up front. That Utah defense has been fire all year long, and he was definitely one of the key factors. Kind of the same with Notre Dame. You know, they definitely had some issues around, but their defense played pretty good. And Hutton was a big time key piece up front to help, navigate and control the run game. And then, of course, Farmer, a lot of studs on that Clemson defense. And Farmer made sure that he made himself known from time to time, too, to be one of their premier rushers to get to the quarterback and of course the stuff to run as well. So I mean, defensive tackles this year in the college series were tremendous. It's a big year for D tackles. And so that's it for that. Let's go to the defensive ends, the edge rushers for the squads. Going back to the West, the left side edge. And selected players are from the same college. Ethan Marks from Florida and Manny Rojas. 91 overall and a 90 overall. These guys obviously knew they would be here, but you're going to have Ethan Marks starting out, Rojas finishing in the second half for the West. So, I mean, that side is definitely going to wreak havoc for sure. That's deadly. So, you're dealing with Florida Gators all 4 quarters on that left side. Ethan Marks won Defensive Lineman of the Year, Defensive End of the Year last season, and was in the runnings even this year for that same awards. I mean, he was very dominant. Manny Rojas kind of almost seemed to pick up kind of where Ethan Marks was last season. Slightly better year than Marks this year, but uh, I mean, both of these guys were just killing the game at that defensive end position. And here they are, first and second team unit there on the left side for the West. Let's also get a look at the right side too, instead of just moving on to the East. So the right side edge rushers for the West are Russell Shackelford and I didn't even show it yet. Russell Shackelford and Will Woolfolk from Ohio State. Okay, so 92 overall for Shackelford and a 91 overall for Woolfolk. Guys are dominant. Shackelford, a user player, and a generic 2-year player is Woolfolk. Shackelford's been here since CS5 as well, man. So a lot of Ohio State vets leaving for the pros this year as they played out all their eligibility and they're ready to, of course, again win a national championship and advance on to win the West, their first East versus West bowl game. So I mean, this is a stacked defensive end unit. We saw Florida going to take over the left side, Ohio State's going to take over the right. So this is going to be a serious pass rush that the West should be able to generate based off of who they got on this unit. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how the East holds up against that. Speaking against about the East, let's go ahead and get a look at who their edge rushers are. As we'll first start off on the left side edge, just like we did with the West. And we have Sina Anawai from Clemson on first team for the East. And second team, here goes another Clemson, another team takeover of a side. Got Lou Burks, generic defensive end for from the Tigers, man. So both 91 overalls. So Clemson taking over that left side. Sina Anawai, 3 years in the college series. Kind of blanking on where he played in CS6. I know of course, his last 2 years was with Clemson. I'm pretty sure he transferred over to Clemson. Maybe I'm mistaken. Those in the chat, let me know. But think he was somewhere else in CS6. Then he transferred to Clemson. But if not, then that means he was with Clemson for 3 years. But something tells me he was actually with Utah. Never transferred. Okay, never mind. I don't know why. Maybe I'm getting him confused with. Well, I definitely got to be getting him confused with Colorado Rivers then. Yeah, so he's been with Clemson all 3 years. So he won both of those national championships. Matter of fact, I'm tripping too, because I remember he was wreaking havoc in that CS6 national championship game too. So yeah, he's been in here 3 years, including, of course, the PFL year of eligibility. So senior there, and you had the sophomore not electing to be a junior next year, going into the RFL draft as generic. And yeah, they got the left side on smash for the East. Let's see about the right side. We have another team takeover. Let's see. Nope. I'm gonna just let you guys know ahead of time. We do not have another team takeover for the right side. Two different colleges these guys represent. On the right side for the East, we got Tyrone Crawford, who's a menace off that edge for the Utes at an 88 overall. First team. Second team will be Andreas Bazanes. Bazanes. Maybe that's how you say it. Bazanes, as he's an 88 overall as well from Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech getting some love here from the ACC. And then we got a Big 12 representative with Crawford that's going to start the game out. Nothing really too much to say there. We're now going to go into the linebacking core, going back to the West. Now, the West has 6 linebackers, only 4 for the East. And so let's get a look at the outside linebackers, starting from the Sam position. So the Sam linebackers for Team West are Nick Oquin from Ohio State, has the record for the most sacks in a single season in RFL College Series history with 35 and a half. Broke that last year. And that could possibly be broken by his own teammate at the defensive tackle position with Wyatt Harris. So that's interesting right there to look at. But a glaring thing to look at here is the overall. He's done all this at just a 78 overall. It goes to show you how dominant this guy has been. That overall for this guy just did not matter. Then we have Tyrese Evans for Penn State, 89 overall, a whole 11 overalls higher than the first team starting Nick Oquin. But Tyrese Evans is a menace off the edge for Penn State, and he will be finishing the game for the West squad. And with that, let's go ahead and get a look at the will linebackers. We'll save the inside linebackers, those mics, for last. So the will linebackers for the West team are Brian O'Connor from Ohio State, 89 overall. Also a former linebacker of the year award winner back in CS6. And Holly Jacklin. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Haley. I don't think it's Haley. I think it's Holly. But yeah, Holly Jacklin, and that's the wrong college I got there. So I'm gonna make sure to try to correct that first before I post this up. I'll just bell myself, even though don't have a bell. We'll just have the imaginary bell playing. Ding, there it goes. But yeah, second team is Holly Jacklin from Alabama, not Nebraska, 88 overall. Those are your wills for the West. And now let's get a look at those inside linebackers. Kind of interested to know, Brian O'Connor not playing his native inside linebacker position. Let's go ahead and get a look at who Coach Gore chose to play at his mic positions. And here we go. Your West Mike linebackers are Oregon's Montel Wright, 91 overall. Starting us out, the first team and second team is Matt Hilleman, Nebraska. Now that college is correct for him. All right, that's right. All right, 90 overall for him. So I mean the overalls are higher right there. I think he probably went overall right there for that position. And just to put it out there, man, these positions now that they're getting revealed are stamped, so there is no changing. Uh, so coaches they put their roster together, told them make sure you had your first and your second team, and so giving you exactly what you're going to be seeing come East versus West Bowl game day. All right. So that's why I made sure to let you guys know, who's going to be playing at the mic, who's going to be playing at will, stuff like that. So you guys know where to look for your players or certain players you're interested in watching. But these are your Mike linebackers. First half team got right. Second half team Hilleman. Hilleman was a great linebacker for Nebraska this year. Nebraska had a beast of a defense, and of course we can't speak enough about how good Oregon was this year and the big upset they were able to get over the back-to-back national champs Clemson. So I mean that speaks for itself. Their defense was pretty huge as well. So those are the linebackers for the west side. Let's get a look at the linebacker choices for the east side. There's only four of them though. All right. So the four linebackers, because I think it's well, I don't want to give out any schemes away right now, but that's all I could say is that it's only four linebackers. So boom, here we go. The first two set of linebackers for the east side are Tremaine Schneider from Louisville. It'll be your first team starting out. Then your second half starting linebacker, second team is Utah's Jackson Santana, generic player. Both of these guys generics. He's at an 88 overall. All right. If they show me a MAC linebacker, yeah, I don't know if we got anybody selected from the MAC at all. we'll see. We'll keep going on with these rosters, but there goes your first set of linebackers of the four for the East. And then the last set we have, go ahead, close this out, are Utah's Donald Summers. It's been a monster for the Utes for two seasons. Played those 2 seasons, of course, as a generic, 92 overall. And then Florida State's DeMarcus Rome being second team at 85 overall at the linebacker position for the East. All right, so there you have it. All the linebackers, the D line has been revealed. The second level of the defense has been revealed, and now it's time for. I know guys been waiting. What is the cornerback, the defensive back setup that we're gonna have in this East versus West bowl game? A lot of trash talking was going on in the Discord. Let's see what the West has for its first team defensive back. So that, of course, means it's two starting outside corners and their slot guy. So whoever you see at the far right will be the slot corner in that game. So here we go. West side. We have Jack Sky from Ohio State. First team, 92 overall. Kenzo Udo from Penn State. First team, 91 overall. And at the slot position starting is LSU's Vinny Ball at a 90 overall. Now that's a pretty good unit right there. So Vinny Ball makes it, Udo makes it, and of course, Sky Patroller Jack Sky is the main guy there representing the West at the cornerback position. So those are your first half starters. I guess it could go into the second half, but just of course to give a little bit more information. Of course, Jack Sky, we already know what type of playmaker he's been. He's been in the college series since I believe CS6. Yeah, CS6. So 3 years he got to spend. He could have came back, but coach said, "Hey, go on, go to the draft." Coach Becon wanted him to go, and here he is. First team starting for the West team, Kenzo Udo has been a guy who's been in the college series since CS5. Another guy's played all his eligibility, 4 years. And now he's been moving around though. He was not at Penn State all 4 of those years. I can tell you that right now. He's at Tennessee for a stint. Went to Miami. Started out at Tennessee, went to Miami, and then finished his last 2 years here with Penn State. And then Vinny Ball made a huge name for himself last year in his first season, his freshman year, as a generic cornerback for the LSU Tigers. Uh, Man, he was just a pick six machine. Only 2 interceptions this year, though, so drastic drop off statistically. But he was still a defensive back that was rarely targeted, and you didn't want to see your quarterback really throwing the ball his direction much. But those are your first team defensive backs for the West. Here are your second team defensive backs for the West, and they are Brandon Cherry, another LSU guy. Those two guys killing it, looking to try to win a national championship tomorrow as well. Ethan Nation from Texas. He's an 87 overall. Forgot to mention Cherry. He's an 89 overall for LSU. And just making the cut there, starting at the slot cornerback position to finish out the game is Joe Carter from Florida. So Dior Gore has called him in and looking to strap up. Look at that rating, though. 93 overall corner. So that's a good key piece there. He's out there with Brandon Cherry, too. Ethan Nation. This is pretty good defensive back core all 4 quarters, man. That's all I can say. So it'll be interesting to watch how those receivers try to work in. Now, we've seen some good receivers get selected now, too. So this is going to be a great matchup to watch. Now let's go over to I guess to talk a little bit about these guys too. Brandon Cherry. I mean, if you've been watching this LSU team at all, I mean, Brandon Cherry is a big key piece as to why LSU got to the national championship. I mean, he's literally had an interception every game since the SEC championship, which helped them tie it up to get that momentum to win. So, I mean, what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 3 to 4 straight games with an interception. I mean, crucial interceptions too, man. And so Brandon Cherry is kind of having the season that Vinny Ball had last year. So I mean that goes to show you the defensive backcourt for LSU and what to look out for tomorrow in that championship game. Ethan Nation, a lot of there hasn't been too much, talk about Texas throughout the regular season, but of course they made their presence known in the playoffs. But Ethan Nation's been a solid cornerback, making some great plays, getting some interceptions, making himself known from time to time as well. This wasn't, of course, a lot of, there's a lot of hype around a lot of other teams. So Texas really didn't get to have too much hype around them during that regular season to really be able to pay attention. But if you watched Ethan Nation, man, this was a guy who was really good in coverage and did a great job with that nationwide coverage, as we like to say. And then Joe Carter. I mean, this guy, he's been a journeyman too. He's been here since CS5, just like Kenzo Udo. And he has been all over the place. I mean, he's played for 3 different SEC teams. Uh, of course, his last 2 seasons, he finished with Georgia. No, he finished with Florida. Uh, I'm blanking on where else he played for some reason. I know he played at Georgia too, but why am I forgetting your third school? Is it Tennessee? You play Tennessee, Georgia, and those in the chat. Let me know, man. You've been all over. You've been everywhere. Oklahoma. That's what. Okay, yeah, Oklahoma. And look, I even got those other schools wrong. My bad. Yeah, Oklahoma and LSU. Yeah, never played UGA. Yeah, I'm tripping, y'all. I'm all the way out. I'm not gonna lie. Man, I wanted to make sure that I got these graphics done to show you guys. So, bro, when I tell you I was grinding, getting back home just to knock these out for y'all, like at first I was even thinking about canceling this whole podcast tonight because I was gassed, bro. But I'm like, nah, the guys want to see these. So I'm gonna come out here on the pod and I'm showing you guys the graphics, man. So Apologies for sound like I got my wisdom teeth out like back in the day, but you know, I had to go ahead and show you guys what's up, man. But yeah, Oklahoma it was. LSU. I don't know what I was thinking about, bro. Tripping. I need a neuro gum. But yeah, those are your cornerbacks for the West. Finishing out. Now let's go ahead and get to the East side and their defensive backs. You saw their linebackers. First team cornerbacks for uh Coach Polk and the East are. Hold up, are they not here? We got something going on. Where them corners at? Uh-oh, hold on. I don't see him on the list. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Let me double check. Definitely made their graphic here. Let's see, corner right. Yeah, I probably okay. I gotta re-download that. So that's what I'm about to do. Uh, yeah, I didn't have the first team roster for some reason loaded in. I should have it now. Actually, let me make sure that this gets to. Yeah, there we go. Cornerbacks. We'll put that in the East roster. All right. Cancel. Browse. All right, here we go. Your first team cornerbacks for the East roster are. Look at this unit, man. Returning back from the dead. 99 overall rated Xavier Savage. Haven't seen this guy play since CS7. You want to know how old this guy is? We were just talking about guys playing back in CS5 for their first year. Tell me why this guy, he's been in the college series since CS3. Literally since CS3. Just to put into perspective, Coach Polk himself, his player, played in CS2. The year afterwards, this guy was in the college series and is just now being able to come out to the draft. So, yeah, he didn't have no years of eligibility left to even play this year. But since it's an East versus West bowl game, eligibility doesn't matter. He's going to the draft. He is eligible to play in this game. So obviously, Coach Polk picks him up, and he is the first team starting corner off the bat at that 99 overall. First team with him on the other side is Clemson's Brian Robinson, a 95 overall, and then another 95 overall who originally was at Georgia, transferred to Georgia Tech. Hopefully, I'm getting all that right. I'm pretty sure I am. But Elijah Carter Jr., ECJ, the trash talker. You guys know he'll make sure you do. But first team, 95 overall. He is going to be the starting slot corner. So, I mean, looking at this first team unit is dangerous. That is crazy. Everyone 95 or above. So that is a huge strength for this defense for the East Side. Let's go ahead and get a look at the second team. Well, I guess I already talked about Savage. I mean, this guy I like to dive into like each player just so guys get some information. Again, apologies for some of the incorrect stuff, man. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Xavier Savage, he's played since CS3. We already mentioned that. This guy dominated at the quarterback position and dominated at the safety position. There was a year where he literally said, "Hey, I want to play safety." Played that and was one of the best safeties in the nation. So cornerback, defensive back, any position in that, he's got it on lock. That's the reason why he's a 99 overall. And so if you don't know about Savage, I'm pretty sure you're going to find out probably in this bowl game. But Savage is a savage. The second guy, Brian Robinson, this is a guy who was strapping up big time. CS8. Man, I mean, I'm not CS8, CS7. I mean, he was up there leading the nation in interceptions. He won Defensive Back of the Year. Even though he didn't end up finishing the year with the most picks, it was actually Jack Sky towards the end, but he actually had the most interceptions at the time the awards were being given out. So Brian Robinson was able to steal that away from Jack Sky, who, crazy enough, never got to win a Defensive Back of the Year award. So, I mean, Brian Robinson is a monster. He's had some moments, this year, but, had a phenomenal CS7, but still a prime time lockdown corner for the Tigers. And then for Elijah Carter Jr., we already know the deal with this guy, man. Had a great freshman year in CS6 with Georgia. Out of nowhere, opts to transfer out. Goes to Georgia Tech. Everyone's saying, "What are you doing?" And he finished his last 2 years with Georgia Tech. At least we're able to make a bowl game this year. Fortunately, we're not able to win it, but they were a lot more competitive than what we saw the last year, and he had a pretty okay season there with Georgia Tech. Would have loved to. Of course, most guys would have loved to seen him playing in the SEC as opposed to the ACC those years where he looked dominant. And of course, the team just never ended up being, that good to really get him the spotlight. So he just seemed to fall off from the public for those 2 years. And so this is a good opportunity to showcase, what he can do for his last collegiate game, the bowl level. And then we get a look at the second team corners for Team East, and they are one of these guys I did not have a photo of, so I had to literally pull the no helmet in-game player card image off this guy. But California's Kenya Dunham, 94 overall. So these cornerbacks are crazy, man. But California's Kenya Dunham, the 94 overall with the second team. Got Danny Cisco from Notre Dame, second year generic player at an 89. And at an 88 overall, it's Omar Depps from Utah. Not really too much to say about Kenya Dunham. Of course, you did not see much of him during the college series, but that rating just lets you know of his potential, and we'll see how great he is leading off the East, as of course they got some serious comp with the conferences in which the West has. And so you can see Coach Polk going in, trying to find some really good, capable guys to compete. And he digs deep in the bag and he finds this Californian. I don't even know if he's from California, but played for the squad. And here he is finishing out the game for the East. Danny Cisco had a great year for Notre Dame last year. Pretty solid year this year too, and as a generic player, gets to play one more extra game. And Omar Delp's second year generic player as well. It's pretty much the same similar type of season and everything as Danny Cisco. And so those are your cornerbacks for the East and West side. Let's go and get a look at the free safeties for the West. So the West side free safeties are, and again, these go back to two. Micah Harper from Oregon, first team, 83 overall. And Macaduff, hopefully I'm saying that right. Macaduff, might be Macaduff from Washington, finishing out the game at 84 overall. So those are your free safeties there. A second year generic player and Micah Harper. He had a pretty solid year too with Oregon last year. In that picture right there, you got a pick six. So this guy pretty good in that free safety position, ball hawking. Same deal with Maka Duff. I mean, but he played 1 year in the college series, so we don't really know too much about Duff here. But we'll be able to see what he brings to this West secondary from the free position. And since we're talking about frees, we might as well go into the strongs too. So let's go get a look at the strong safeties selected for the West. So the strong safeties for the West are Zion Anderson Jr. from Penn State, first team, 87 overall. And Kong Morse from Florida, second team, 88 overall. So these are some boomers. These are guys that are going to come down. Of course, they're strong safeties as they should. They're going to come down and knock your helmet off, man. Might bend your face mask up a little bit. Make sure you got a mouthpiece in. These guys don't play around. So if you're on the east side, you're catching a slant, you see 32, you might want to hit the deck. You don't want to run into those shoulder pads. You might get a 3 or a 2 laid on you from either side. Now, I know Kong doesn't have a 2 on him, but you're going to feel like you got hit by 2 dudes at the end of a hit stick, you know. So some bangers here for the west side. So yeah, I want to say for Zion Anderson, this was a big year for him. I'd say one of his better years for the Nittany Lions. And then for the second half, with Kong Morris coming in, now that guy's really killing somebody over the middle. Hey, we've seen a lot of big hits from him. I think Morris also. Let me stop making the assumption game too, because bro, I don't know why I'm getting my colleges switched up. I just know who moved and who didn't. Kinda, because I did say somebody transferred and he actually didn't, which was Cena. But anyway, Kong Morris, I think he played for Ohio State too, and he used to just boom. And here he is at Florida. He spent his last 2 seasons at CS7 and CS8, booming again. So somebody said Maryland. He played for Ohio. Oh, yeah, what are you talking about, Rodney? I know you helped me out last time. So you got one wrong. I'll play the bell for you myself. Ding. There you go. Uh, but uh, But yeah, Kong Morris, these are going to be some heavy hitters. So look out for them to potentially try to, you know, cause some turnovers. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch and see what impact they bring. I'm not going to go over kickers. So I guess I might as well just, I mean, I don't have any graphics for them. So I might as well just read out who the kicker is going to be. And I'm just going to go say who the first team guys are because I don't think that team builder is going to allow them to have two like I was planning. But you really don't need that. So let me see. I'm looking to see what the West kickers are, but can't find the sheet anymore. Okay, here we go. The kickers is Ohio State's Kyle Adams. So that's the kicker for the West Side. And the punter for the West Side is Ohio State's Andrew Medina. So Ohio State taking over, kicking that rock for the West. And now we will go over and look at the final pieces to the East roster, starting off with their safeties at the free position. So your starting safeties for the East at the free are Juan Redden, Clemson, first team, 91 overall. And second team is Oklahoma State's Alexander Downs, freshman, one and done safety here at a 90 overall. That's pretty interesting. You saw Juan Redden. This is a guy that was just really a ball hawk when it came to the football being thrown around, especially in the red zone. You didn't want to throw the ball often to Juan Redden in the red zone in that small area because he liked to jump on those passes. So big time first team starting player right there for the East. And to close out with Alexander Downs, not really too much to say about him. Of course, only just played 1 year. Yeah, it's a couple picks this year and high overall. So we'll see if that's enough to help keep the secondary, the deep passes safe for the East in that second half. And looking at the strong safeties for the East, they are Diamond Armani, 99 overall, first team, obviously, and D'Angelo Brown from Notre Dame, second team overall. I said overall, I'm tripping. 90 overall, second team, though, from Notre Dame. D'Angelo Brown, second year generic player. Two very solid seasons, too, for Notre Dame. Uh, got a pick six even on that picture right there. He's a nice playmaker there for Notre Dame to finish out this second half for the East. And of course, you love to have Diamond Armani on the roster to kick things off. He's literally like, if I had to compare him to a player in the RFL right now, he very much reminds me of the Swiss Army knife. And why am I blanking on his name? Plays for Casey Lott. This guy can play the linebacker position. This guy can play corner, safety, you name it. He's got the build for it. He can play anything in those levels. So this guy's the ultimate strong safety. And to start out with that in the first half for Team East, that is huge. So nothing more to even say about Diamond Armani. He's been a huge impact player and the success for Clemson in those two national championships that he was able to help get them. So, with that being said, the last thing to read off are the kickers for the East, and the kicker selections for the East were Owen Adams from Miami. So Coach Polk going with his own guy there, and taking Clemson's Carl Nielsen for punting. So that is your full roster reveal for uh for the East versus West bowl game, guys. I will be posting these, of course, on social media, so be looking out for that to drop. If not tonight, tomorrow. Uh, I might be looking to get also just a quick graphic made so that the way that guys at least know the overall the linemen and stuff. So I'm gonna try to make a quick graphic for the linemen. So most likely you won't see these graphics come out until tomorrow. I'm even trying to get those kickers too. But yeah, those are your rosters, man. I'm glad you guys are able to sit here and figure out who the rosters are this way. At least, find out as as everyone else does, not just something getting posted like I was about to do. But you can see me here. I'm still trying to hang on, man. So I'm still here, man. I'm rocking. Boy, I had no sleep. Uh, and look, I know you ain't supposed to say on this on the stream, but at the end of the day, man, had to get through it. Had to get through it. Had to show this because national championship game tomorrow, boys. National. I think I still got that loaded up. Let me see. Let me see. I got the pod on. Oh yeah. Oh no, this showing the games. Oh no, that ain't it. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, national championship. National championship tomorrow. LSU versus Ohio State. And man, going down 9 p.m. Eastern in the booth. Me and Mix will be calling that one. I see Pope asking about the unis. Actually, I'm gonna hold off on the unis CP, and the reason why is because I got the graphics made, but I want from here on out to be. I want to save that at least for throughout the week for the East versus West bowl game. So most likely I'll be revealing those on Monday. So that way we'll have some content to kind of build up some hype, for the East versus West bowl game, and guys can consume that instead of dropping that right before the national championship, and then the national championship game happens and it just gets swept under the rug. So I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. No, I mean I'm gonna save that for Monday, but make sure you guys tune in to the national championship game tomorrow night, SoFi Stadium. Number 6 Ohio State versus number 1 LSU. Who's winning the national championship? Storylines is crazy, but of course we'll tell you about all those storylines during that game, so you don't want to miss it. Make sure you come through. And the last announcement I have for you guys is this. For the first time ever, the RFL will be hosting a live combine. Now, what do I mean by that? if you are an RFL College Series prospect and you own the game, doesn't matter if it's on Xbox, PC, whatever, you own Madden 26 and you're able to build your player uh, on the career mode, you can participate in a live combine that we're going to host on Saturday. So that will be the 13th of this month. So you got a whole week, get your skills up. Now will this count as your actual 40s and all that? No, it's just I'm gonna tell you the benefits of this. So the benefits of this is it will not affect you in a negative way. So no matter how bad you run a 40, how bad you do whatever, your player will not be impacted. All right. You will be able to win reloads. So if you are participating and you are the best in your position or best in the combine to run the 40, to do the bench, to do whatever, you will be winning reloads for that. So it's just another aspect of the RFL to make you feel like you're actually participating and going on that next level of the RFL. So I wanted to do that last year, just didn't get the time to do it, but I really want to do it this year. But make sure that you have your game. The qualifications are you got to have Madden 26, so the latest version to be able to hop on. You got to be in the RFL Discord, obviously, because if you're not in the Discord, I won't be able to show you going live and doing it. But you'll do that, and you got to be able to stream in Discord in the channel that I create, you actually doing the combine. So that's how we'll be recording and showing it, of course, to the public. And it will be just like the real combine. You will have two chances to do the 40. Uh, with the bench, though, you get one chance, like in real life. So all the real life stuff, that's all you're going to get. One chance, two chances. You can benefit from this not only from reloads, but say for instance, I already have your guys' ratings for the draft. Those are set in stone, those will not change. But what can happen is, let's say for instance, let's say your guys are 75 overall, right? And you do good on the L drill, the three cone drill, and you have let's say like an 86 agility. If you did really good on that and that three cone drill, I could say, hey man, maybe I can boost this up at least +1. If you do really good, who knows, maybe I could do +2, but it all depends on if it changes your rating. Now, if it changes your rating to go up, then I cannot add it. But if you have that space for me to add it, then you can actually have a higher rating by performing good in the RFL Combine. So this is going to be a real great event. And I think it's going to be real fun and funny just to see, who does what. I'm pretty sure dudes are going to get roasted if they do pretty bad on the 40 and stuff like that. But you got a whole week. You guys got a whole week to practice that, right? This gets like real life. Got a whole week to practice running your 40, your bench, all of that. Get those skills down so that way you don't fold when it's time to show your skills live. And that's where the real life pressure is going to hit because, you know, or you may be doing it behind the scenes really good, but are you going to be able to do it live at that time in that moment under pressure? We'll see. We will see. But yeah, that is it for me. Let me go ahead and check to see what we got here in the chat. So how would you make our our how do we make our attitude the same? Maybe I'm reading something wrong here. That you won't probably have to put your height and weight because in that superstar mode you don't choose your attributes. That you would probably just have, yeah, you would have make sure to create your player, so that'll be probably part of the rule too, is to make sure that you make sure that your player is literally identical uh, with his vitals um, while doing it. That's it. So again, that will be happening on the 13th. So start practicing that now, guys who are entering the draft. And yeah, we'll see you on the first ever RFL Live Combine. It's gonna be pretty fun. We'll see how many guys will get into it. It shouldn't be too long of an event. I don't anticipate a lot of people, having the game and probably being able to go live at that moment. I still haven't picked the time, but I will put an announcement out in Discord too, so guys know, and then you'll react, let me know that you're interested in it, and then throughout the week I'll be looking to see, talk with you guys. Like, hey, what's the best time we could probably do this for most guys? I think honestly, to be honest with you guys, the earliest I could probably go with is like 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7. So something around there Eastern time. Look forward. But yeah, live combine, Zach. So if you're looking to participate, get those Madden 26 combine skills up and see if you can earn yourself some reloads and possibly upgrade an attribute or two on your player, depending on if you got that leeway. But with that being said, you guys already know how I've been feeling, man. I've been saying some crazy stuff already, forgetting dudes' colleges and where they transferred and even came from. But that is it for me. It's your boy Smitty, RFL Commissioner and play-by-play commentator. Glad to bring you guys the East versus West roster reveal. And again, tomorrow, national championship game, LSU, Ohio State. Who you guys got? Let me know in the chat before we roll out of here. League first. Peace.